An amazing Chicago artist. Been at it for a long time since. I remember seeing this motherfucker at East Room and shit. Like way before that. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
What a time.
We got the homie 8MatikLogan in the building with us.
Welcome back, big dog.
A lot has changed since 2022, man.
Yeah. A lot.
Yeah, yo, you gave us our first viral clip.
That's tough. No, I remember when we were doing it. I think I messed up like the first 2 times, and then I got it.
It was 2? I thought it was just the first.
The
You got it off. Yeah, you got it off pretty.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I wasn't here.
I was there.
Move closer to the mic, my boy.
I don't remember.
But yeah, I wasn't on that episode, and I remember listening back, and y'all was talking about some deep-ass shit.
Yeah.
Motherfucking growth of self and soul and all that shit. And I was like, damn, we ain't even talking on music. That's because I wasn't there. So since it's been almost 2 years, let's just start off with like a little background story about where you come from. Ooh.
Yeah, so born and raised on the south side. Well, born on the north side, like close to where we are right now. Mm-hmm. And then moved to the south side and kind of just grew up there, little village. Then moved to Brighton Park, McKinley Park area type shit. So yeah, like south side, I say born and raised on the south side because like that's where I became a person. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah. Really, everybody in Chicago done been everywhere for real.
Yeah, for sure.
At this point, you know what I'm saying?
For sure. But yeah, man, south side Chicago, you know what I'm saying? Like,
how did you start rapping? They didn't even ask. Y'all didn't even ask them that question last time. How did you even start rapping?
Rap has just kind of always been there. Like, growing up, I come from a like heavy gang family. I grew up in the streets, like in that culture. So you know they not listening to anything else but rap, even or especially like in the 90s, early 2000s. So. I would say introduction to rap comes from my dad before he got locked up. Just a lot of like Twister, Do or Die, DMX,
Perfect.
Pac.
Hell yeah, that's that Chicago shit. I be playing that shit around these motherfuckers. I be hyped. Then I realize that none of my friends are actually from Chicago.
But you definitely
I be like, damn, y'all don't know a player like me and you. Bailey, you sit there like,
even beyond like Twister, Do or Die. Like when I meet people from the Burbs, bro, they don't even know like DJ Nate, like juke music or like.
Shout out me. My bad. Sorry, stupid ass joke.
Like juke parties, footwork, music, none of that.
Yeah.
And that shit
no,
because
that shit is so specific to Chicago, bro. Like I was telling, do you remember like a couple years ago we was talking? I was just like, gee, I remember like being in a party and you was getting juked on and you was about to fall, so your homie would come and hold you up, and they looked at me like, what? I never heard.
I'm still looking at you.
Y'all not from Chicago?
Nah, I'm from Dallas.
Okay,
Texas.
where are you from?
I'm from Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Damn, are you a Brewers fan, gang?
Listen, I don't. It's a room full of the homies. I don't talk about sports and things like that because of where I'm from.
She's a Green Bay fan.
Sports got
Chill on me, dog.
She making me mad as hell.
Chill on me. I do come from a strong lineage of Packard fans, but I can't say for me. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't claim them. So
I mean, I feel you. Let's go, Cowboys. Super Bowl 2025.
Is crazy too.
Yeah, I'm hurting over here. But look,
it's lonely at the top.
So, what was your first song you ever remember recording?
Just like
the first time you recorded some shit. I did.
So my cousin Ashley, used to let me and my cousin Fendi like just play with her MacBook. We was like, I don't know, man, 7th or 8th grade. We were just making like freestyles with like Apple headphones.
Hell yeah, that was the move for real.
Into GarageBand and then just put it on YouTube. So those are like my earliest memories of like recording.
Give us a bar from one of those songs. I know you remember one. Because you wouldn't have kept going if you didn't say so you thought it was hard.
I'm trying to think.
Damn.
Damn, I can't remember, bro.
It'll come to you.
That's such a crazy question. I see where you're going with that, but like that's such a
It's
crazy
like over
like
14 years.
whose memory is that good? God
Yeah,
damn.
don't end this episode without getting one of those bars.
No pressure. He won't be able to
Damn, I'm
answer
trying
any
to
more
think.
questions. Like,
It's like 15 years ago, bro. I can't remember, but you don't want to hear that shit.
Because back there, because I knew you, Billy. You was Logan Cage, my boy.
Well, I started off just Logan, and then went to Logan 1636 Logan, which I didn't even really call myself that. Other people started calling me that, and it's like understandable because like just being Logan is like hard to. Cause you know,
Google that shit.
yeah, you know a bunch of Logans, so you have to find something
Wolverine
to identify.
gonna kind of.
just like in
ass
everyday
joke.
life, everybody probably knows like 2 or 3, you know. So it's like one of those things where it's like this is the identifier, 1636 Logan. So then once I started to realize that they finna change my name for me, I was like, all right, let me just do Logan Cage, and then I went through like a whole identity crisis.
Where do the cage come from?
I just thought it was cool. Logan.
Facts.
I just thought Logan was cool too. Actually, someone actually just called me Logan on accident one day, and I was just like, for sure.
Wait, your name is not Logan?
I was just about to. You don't gotta drop no government names, but I definitely thought I was speaking to Logan here. But
Nah, man. And then so after the Logan Cage thing, I went through like an identity existential crisis, and I was just like switching names, doing all type of shit. And then boom, landed on 8MatikLogan in 2019.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna ask you, what's the origin of like the name 8MatikLogan and like that transition from Logan Cage to that?
I just wanted a new life, a new start.
Yeah.
And the 8Matik, when I was in the studio, when I was signed to ATS, I was in there like every day for like a couple years, just working all the time. Jimmy used to pull up to some of the sessions. Like, we just used to be in there, and I used to be making like 3-4 songs a day, and I was like, it's just like automatic. So like that's where the Matic came from.
Yeah.
I just shortened it, put a K, and then the 8. Like Kobe's one of my favorite people. Just like
Facts.
mindset.
In general.
Facts.
Yeah. Of all time.
So like the mindset of having that, resiliency and that like just Mamba mentality. I took the 8, and then plus also the C infinity sign. So like, and my goal has always been to, my goal has always been to achieve eternal life through the music, through the impact.
Yeah.
For real. Yeah, low key. Like, I'll be thinking about that shit now. Like, since all this music is so accessible to everybody, G, it might be 150 years I've been dead. A motherfucker play my songs. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you look at like, so my biggest inspirations, most of the people that move me, like in my core, are like not here. Somebody who's my biggest inspiration, period, I would say, outside of Kanye West, is Kurt Cobain.
Hell yeah.
And we were not even alive at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
My other biggest inspiration is Basquiat, and he was dead for like 10 years before I was born.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, when you do something substantial and you really make an impact on the world, you can live forever.
On my soul, for real.
Oh yeah.
You know? So that's what I'm on, bro. Like, I'm trying to, like, you think Kanye finna die? No.
Never. For real, yo.
So
Yeah, you
that's what I'm
mentioned
on.
that's crazy. I was listening to Nirvana all morning this morning. What's your favorite Nirvana album?
Bleach is like my favorite album of all time.
Thank you. No one says that. No one ever says that. Hell yeah.
Bleach is like my favorite album of all time. But I love all the Nirvana albums. Yeah. I even rock with Incesticide, which is like their super like, it's almost like a novelty type release that didn't really,
went by the wayside,
Yeah, but I have it at the crib as like a CD.
Oh, sick.
But Bleach is my favorite. My favorite song off Bleach would be Paper Cuts.
Sick. Hard.
Yeah, so hard.
So like, what made you prompted you to be like, you know what? I think I could do this rapping shit full time. Like maybe I should just try to like. What made you make that switch to a full time rapper?
Well, growing up in Chicago, bro, we in the city. Like people can call New York or LA whatever they want, but I feel like we are culture. Like on a massive scale, everybody looks at Chicago and just thinks we the coolest motherfuckers, and we believe that clearly too. Yeah. So it's like. Just growing up in Chicago, bro, going to school, we was all rapping. We was frying each other, and we was rapping.
I know.
And so, like, as you start, like, rapping at lunch and, like, in class, you start to get a gauge of, like, whether or not you're dope. And so, for me, I was like, I'm definitely better than you. I'm definitely better than you. I'm definitely better than you. And so, I just had that confidence from an early age, and then I did a music video and got kicked out of school for it because it got like 30,000 views. And then it just like, at that point, it just wasn't in my hands anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. One thing I love about people that are like from Chicago is they're on their own dicks for real. And it is so sick. I've definitely like taken that from
you gotta fuck with yourself though,
like,
for real.
Chicago motherfuckers are the most
It's because when we
confident, it's fire, dude.
When we go other places, we just like, really?
Yeah. Dog, I go back home to Dallas and be like, what are y'all on? Like, you know what I mean?
Or like when I go to like LA and shit, they be talking about Chicago like it's the burbs. Like we be in New York and shit, they be talking about us like we from.
That's fact.
Like,
But I love other places though. Don't get me wrong. I love other places and I love people from other places. I think they're very interesting. But I just think Chicago is the dopest place.
It is the best city in America. I say it all the time on this podcast. Best city in America. There's not even a conversation. Wow. Beautiful. You hear the horn? Yeah. Tell us about your new shit.
So I'm working on this album right now called Paradox. It's basically alternative. 2 songs out now, Floating and Vice Grips. I got a couple more singles before I put the album out. And then we're doing a concert, a headlining concert. But yeah, man, it's just me kind of venturing off into this new world, into this new, chapter in my career as a musician. It's the first album that I'll be playing everything. So
sick.
Yeah, you just learned how to play guitar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
I love the
awesome.
shift for real. It's good.
That's
it's
badass.
Good. When'd you start playing guitar?
I bought my first guitar maybe a couple years ago. Whole first year, I had no idea what to do. That shit was just like different. I've only been playing guitar on my songs for like 6 months. But for this album, I'm playing the electric, the acoustic, the bass guitar, and I'm doing the drums. So.
Nice.
Wow,
damn.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Damn, yeah, I love that shit, G.
Yeah,
I love how
awesome.
you just was like, yo, I just got this shit, I'm learning. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how a motherfucker supposed to do. I remember when I seen Wayne do that shit.
Yeah.
Like, people was making fun of him. I'm like, don't make fun of Wayne. He learning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then, recently, I see that nigga shredding, boy.
Well, here's the thing, bro, is people don't, this is why I love Kanye, and people crucify Kanye for so many things, but we overlook the simple fact that bro has no self-limitation.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, that's what resonates with me about Kanye more than anything. He's given me so much without ever interacting with me because he's given me that self-belief and, like, nothing is impossible. And I feel like I could do anything if I just commit to it and, like, try and apply myself. So when I picked up the guitar, it was intimidating. Yeah, it was, like, a struggle at the beginning. But I connected with it on a different level. Like, I tell people all the time, like, when I talk about the album Paradox and why I've kind of shifted away from predominantly rap and moving to alternative as I've kind of extended my taste in music because my palette was very limited at the beginning. It was only rap. Then I started listening to other music. Yeah. But, like, there's things I can say with an instrument like a guitar, specifically electric guitars, that I can't say with my voice or, like, an emotion that I can convey.
Beautifully said. Yeah, 100%.
You know?
100%.
So it's about conveying that feeling and allowing you to feel how I feel and then put some poetic words on top of it.
Yeah. I feel like you're going in a great direction lyrically, too. I know in the song Phoenix Tears, like I saw the clip on Instagram or whatever, And I think, what is your opening line? You know, it's about
most
like
of my love songs really about Xanax.
yeah. So that stood out to me, especially after our like previous conversation. But I was gonna ask you, like, I know like you said that, but I do feel like a lot of your other songs are about love, like in general. And do you think that it's possible for like a candid like artist like yourself to like actually like be in love? Because like it's hard to like be a candid artist and like you're with this person and you're expressing yourself, you know, through every emotion. You know what I'm saying? Do you think it's like possible to do that and like have the person trust you?
This is tricky because like I've been single for 12 years.
Okay.
Right? And nothing has ever lasted longer than maybe 2 months.
Okay.
A month. But it's a thing of like, as you mature and as you kind of evolve beyond the music as a human being, you start to understand like who you are and the type of person that you need in your life to continue to evolve and grow.
True.
When you're young, you're like super into the toxic shit. You're like, whatever. If there's a physical attraction, maybe that's good enough.
Yeah.
But as I've gotten older, I kind of need more than that. And I'm kind of understanding that I have to sacrifice and commit as well. But it's like, from a music standpoint, I can't go away from who I am and who I was and what has happened and been a real thing in my life.
Yeah.
So, like, even if it's not happening to me right now, I can still speak on it and still, you know, express that because it is happening to other people right now.
Yeah. Well said.
So,
Thank you.
like,
that's
and then
perfect.
from a lyrical standpoint, man, I just, like I said, the palette, bro, becoming more tasteful and expanding your frame of reference when it comes to music and not just being so stuck on one genre and rap. Like, I'm listening to a bunch of artists, bro. I don't even really listen to rap anymore unless it's, like, one of my favorite artists that put something out.
Yeah.
But, like, from a lyrical, I know I can rap. I can rap well. But I got tired of just saying, yo, I'm fucking this bitch. I'm popping these pills.
Yeah.
I'm doing this. And it's like, all right, how can I make this more poetic? How could I make this more artistic and creative? And I started studying, like, I'm super into folk music. So studying, like, Leonard Cohen. Studying, like, Joni Mitchell.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Joni
that's
Mitchell never
awesome.
lied.
Yeah, dude, I know that's like it, right, bro.
And then listening to alternative music, artists like Kurt Cobain, where it's just like these words that on the surface feel like they don't make sense, but it's more about how he's saying it and kind of what it means to him than anything else. So it's like trying to pull from these different inspirations and even reading a lot of books and trying to extend my vocabulary or expand my vocabulary. It's like, man, there's many ways to continue to grow and build as an artist that don't revolve around just consuming one genre. And I feel like it's starting to show in my music. And I'm just going to keep doing more of that, but then also trying to find a way to pull from what actually happens and has happened in my life.
Yeah, it feels genuine. You don't come off like a former rapper that is like alternative now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well,
I think
I
was talking to my
genuine.
I was talking to my boy Vaughn the other day at the Reggie show, and I was like, he was like, bro, you've never dressed like a rapper. You always have had this like very grungy edge to you, even when you were just rapping. And if you listen to some of my earlier music, the songs that like did well were like 24/7, which is like me rapping very aggressively over a guitar. So it's like not really that far off from what I was doing before. I think the bad thing about being in a city like Chicago and having success early is that you're not allowed the privacy to have artist development. You have to have like a dress rehearsal in front of the world. So as I'm going through all of these phases and trying to understand who I am, everybody's watching it, and I feel like I have to put albums out, and I feel like I have to do concerts, and I feel like I have to do interviews. And I don't even know who the fuck I am, but I have to be out here in front of everybody. And there's there's pros and cons to it. But I think that has just been a reality for me that I've had to come to terms with. Is like, I feel like it's, the natural metamorphosis has been happening, and I feel like I'm coming into that form. But it's so cringe looking going back and looking at my old interviews and looking at my old music videos and like listening to some songs, I'm just like, damn, bro. Like, I was literally having a dress rehearsal in front of everybody, trying to figure this thing out, you know?
Mm-hmm. It sucks.
Yeah, yo.
You know, it
I was
sucks.
gonna
Like,
ask you that. Like, obviously, I think like you definitely make it a point to like ride the wave of the artistry, and it's like I think anybody that's like a true artist, I think most of us in this room would say that like real writers, it's not so much of a conscious effort as much as it is like a letting go. So like with the thought of that being like a natural transition of like where you started and like what necessarily like pushed you to gain notoriety, were you fearful of like alienating the base that you already had that was kind of like nested in hip hop transitioning into like this new phase?
question.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Or do you feel like, you know, fuck it, like?
Well, okay, so I'll pull from, before I pull on these two things that I want to touch on. We was popular before I started rapping. That's why the rap got popular. Because I was getting kicked out of school, going to a new school. The network was there because we were in the streets, we were in the schools, and we had real motion before music. Yeah. Then we just made music, and people had a reason to
fuck with it regardless. You know.
So that was very real and very organic, and that's something that a lot of artists aren't fortunate to have. Yeah. Period. That's why they need all the other stuff. But beyond that, I love Rick Rubin's book, and he talks about how the audience comes last, right?
Definitely.
And I'm a real firm believer in that. Like, man, we can't be thinking about the audience when we're creating because it's coming from us, for us, about us. It's our true, authentic expression. Yeah. And if it resonates and connects with people, then that's good. But maybe it doesn't, and maybe it's not a sense of that it's not a real thing. Maybe you're just ahead of the zeitgeist, or maybe it's just not for right now.
I think another good Rick Rubin post was that if everybody likes the material, it's probably not the best material that you've ever made, because the best art is going to be polarizing and divide the audience. Yeah.
But
real quick,
no, you're good.
It's like, do you think Kanye was thinking about the audience when he made Yeezus? You think he was like, I gotta make 25 gold diggers? No, he was like, I'm finna make 808s.
Yeah, yo.
You know what I'm saying?
And
like,
that's the shit that I love. Like, when you talking about like going back and look at old artists that you fuck with, that I never fucked with an artist because I saw that everybody liked his music. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's some new shit that motherfuckers do.
You remember the way the world reacted when Bob Dylan plugged that guitar into an amp. It was not good. They came around though.
But yeah, you see what I'm saying? Sometimes you're ahead of the zeitgeist.
You have to be able to challenge. I think true artists challenge what is like. There's this bullshit fabricated hierarchy of rules that the artist that's trying to transition from being a starving artist to a working artist subscribes.
Well, also it's very engineered. It's very much like controlled from the sense of the labels and who's putting which artist in position to be at the top. Right. So it's a thing of like, we think that we can create this wave of what's cool and then just funnel artists through it to keep it going, because now we control the numbers and control the market. Yeah. And then there's an artist that comes and shakes this shit, and it's like, okay, maybe we didn't do it right. But here's the thing too, it's like Henry Ford, his famous quote is like, when he invented the car, he was like, if I would have asked people what they wanted, they would have told me a faster horse. But I made a car. You know what I'm saying? People don't know what they want, bro. Right. Until you give them something and they're like, oh shit, this is dope. Yeah. So like, that's what I had to really tap into, because I'm like, I could sit here and be like, these people want me to rap, and I had people in my DMs yesterday like, yo, if you go to my video I just dropped yesterday, the first comment is like, are you gonna rap again?
I saw that.
I saw that too. Yeah.
You have to.
Like, damn, let me live, yo. Yeah. Like, let me listen to one song.
Have to take risks. I mean, that's really just the beginning and the end of it.
But you can't get mad at people for wanting what they think they want. True. So I don't take no offense to it. I'm just like,
I think the backside of that is you can't expect an artist to want to make the same album 20 times either.
Right.
Not at all.
Especially when you're making it from the heart, bro. Yeah. And it's a true, genuine expression. You're like, what is going to move me in this moment? That's what needs to come out.
Hardcore bands are very guilty of doing that.
Because it's just like what is like we always say, what you doing it for? You know, some niggas just trying. Some niggas' main goal is to be the biggest, have everybody listen to my music. So you make music like that could resonate with a lot of different people. But like, if you really trying to get your expression off and like say how you feeling and worry about the motherfuckers that's like you know what I'm saying? You ain't even worried about that shit. Just like you said, it's all engineered. They push a button and you get numbers.
And it's not like we tend to be super narcissistic, but to be honest with you, you're not that different. Like, there's so many people. The world is vast, bro. There's so many people that are just like you. So if you just be yourself, it'll find its tribe.
Yeah, on my soul.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask you, like, you know, I feel like with all of us as artists, like, I feel like, you know, there's insecurities and like, you know, you question yourself when you're like expressing yourself. So it's like, I just don't know. I mean, I'm genuinely asking, like, how do you get over that hump? How do you just like not care? Like genuinely not care what people think? 100% not care. You know what I'm saying?
When you're in a bad record deal and, and you go broke and you realize that nobody's there.
Yeah.
And you realize that whether you win or lose, you're by yourself. And when you realize that you were born alone and you're gonna die alone.
Hard.
So it's like, fuck what anybody got to say or think.
True.
Now, if you do rock with me and you believe in me, let's rock. But if not, fuck you, bro. Like,
I love it.
I was gonna say I'm glad that shit happened to you for real, because that puts you make what you making now. You know what I'm saying? Step out the box, because like,
and it gives you confidence when you know the business, bro. Like when you know that you could go in a room with anybody that's in the music industry and you won't let them fuck you and you won't let them exploit you. Now you have a different type of energy about you. Because it's not like you don't feel like you're ignorant. You don't feel like small.
Yeah,
G.
sure.
Like, look, I'm glad that shit happened to you, because you know why? Like, I fucked with you. Like I said, I've been fucking with your music with Logan Cage, but like, I ain't gonna lie, like, I checked out for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't keeping up with you, and then until you start doing some different shit, and that brought me back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like this the best shit you'd have ever made, for real.
No, thank you, bro.
Yeah, dog. I gotta congratulate you. You're really in your bag right now, for sure.
Thank you.
And like, when last time you was on the
You're
pod,
gonna achieve great things. I promise you.
last time you was on the pod, I feel like that's when when the switch flipped, you know what I'm saying? Because you had just put out that project, and it was guitars, and it was like kind of, but you was still rapping and shit. Now you full blown like expressing yourself on the track, for real. Yeah. And I'll fuck with that shit, for real.
And at that time too, I had just learned how to produce. So like,
Nice.
again, going back to the dress rehearsal in front of the world, these are my first beats that I've ever made. You know what I'm saying? First, I'm engineering, I'm producing, I'm doing everything. And so I just was putting it out because I had no money and I needed to. And I needed to try to build up a catalog as an independent artist, but like also trying not to fight the progression. Like just let it happen and flow with it. Surrenderance is a huge thing, to not try to fight the tide and just go with it and let it take you wherever it's naturally gonna take you. And man, I don't even think I'm nowhere near my apex. Like the climactic moment is like still very much far away.
Yeah.
For me, at least, you know, and I feel like if you don't think I'm a rap again, you're crazy. I love to rap. But like right now, I'm just doing what I feel like my soul is telling me to do.
Hell yeah.
I love that.
Lean into that shit,
I love,
bro.
I love that outlook. Never get comfortable.
For real, yo.
Because I also feel like I've been the dopest or one of the dopest rappers, and people have taken it for granted. So I'm just like, all right, I'm not finna rap for a little bit. But when I come back rapping, y'all gonna remember
What it was and what it still is.
For real, yo.
Yeah, for sure.
Nah, for real. Like, you know, like, that's a great outlook. Like, you don't have to have one prime. You know what I mean? You can have 72 primes in your life. You feel me?
sure.
Like,
that's what I feel like it's like a second act right now.
Hell
It's
yeah.
like, because also too, a lot of my peers, or a lot of this shit is societal standards, and like perception isn't really even like a thing, but peers, right, from that initial like Chicago Renaissance, a lot of them have peaked, a lot of them given up, and I feel like I've taken the time to go in a new direction, still be young, still be fresh, and still have a ton of life. And I've never given up because there's never been any other thing. It's been, you're gonna do what you love, and that's your only thing. So, whereas I've been fortunate to not have any kids, to not have any like legal trouble or like anything super crazy outside of the record deal, to where I've been able to just make music. And I don't think that's by accident. I think there's a very real purpose for my life, and I feel like I'm just going into that shit full speed ahead and see where it takes me. But a lot of people give up before they give up right when they're so close.
Oh my God,
right
dude.
there.
For real.
Yeah, tell me about
And
it.
sometimes
Oh my fucking God.
I've been going through it.
well, sometimes it's just like a word that really sticks out to me and that I've really like come to love is direction, bro. Because you can have a ton of drive, but if you don't have no direction, you don't know where you're going. And for me, it was about figuring out that direction.
Yeah.
And then now channeling all that assertiveness, all that drive and that like ferocity that I approach every day with to that. And that's how I've been able to get so like make so much progress with the guitar and like figure out all of these different things. It's because like when you can direct that energy
exactly
to a specific place, you can make a ton of progress. If you're just all over the place, which I was for a while, you just look sloppy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, direction and focus is everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
especially
for
when
real.
it comes to creativity.
For real, yo. And like clarity and shit, for real.
Yeah.
Like
You
I was
can't
telling,
just kind of do anything. You know what I'm saying?
I was telling Bailey the other day, me and Bailey was talking the other day, and I was like, fuck, how did I say it? Whatever. But I feel like you gotta like know what you want before you can like figure out how to get it type shit. And you need to like be clear on like what you love and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to think about how I'm trying to say it. I started stuttering and shit.
You're good, though.
Like recently, like in this past year, I told y'all last year that I'm trying to go back to the shit that I used to love when I was a kid before all the bullshit clouded my vision and shit. I was telling y'all that shit. And like
When you were pure and genuine.
yeah, like before
That sounded crazy,
before
my
I
bad.
started worried about all the bullshit, bitches,
sounded
before I
nuts, my
started
bad.
worried about cloud shit, what are the things that I used to love for real? And like that's what I need to focus on and shit. You know what I'm saying? And like you gotta like see that for yourself, like to know what you love and shit, what to go after and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I had that moment in 2020, getting into the record deal in 2019 and then getting out of it. And then with the pandemic and everything, it kind of was this like cocktail of like things aligning. And I quit drinking, I quit smoking, I went celibate. I just like started changing my diet. Started reading crazy, mostly psychological books, philosophy books, spiritual books. And that was probably the most important part of my life or time in my life because that's when I found that clarity and figured out who I was and had the confidence to just be that and not like have to play up to somebody's perception of me because... Well, look at how stupid we look trying to impress other people who don't even know who they are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like just like what you were saying, like when you're talking about the companies, you don't know what you like, and they just telling you what you like type shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we not that different. I was stuck in the sheet. You be stuck with yourself, with your own self shit. Like I was just stuck in the sheep like with the sheep thinking I know until you go and find out what you like. You know what I'm saying? Find out who you are and shit.
Yeah. And that's important, bro. That's why I try to encourage people to, but you can't really force that upon people. And I don't like being preachy.
How did you even get there though? Like, what was your awakening, or like your not to even downplay like that? Because sometimes when you say like an epiphany or an awakening, like it cheapens it or something. But like, what even made you do it? Just like you said, like not everyone's ready to like do that. You don't want to sound preachy, but who or what even pushed you to even try to take that time for yourself and like step back and like focus on self and like gain the knowledge and do the research to try to, you know, feel comfortable with what you're doing?
When I was like in that record, my day, every day was wake up, get fucked up, and rap. Pop pills, drink, smoke, be around girls, do the whole rap shit. And I was very depressed. I was very sick, like mentally, but physically, every day was like bad for me. And going through those health issues was like the first step in understanding that, like, if I don't do something, just look at all the people that have done these things. What happens? It's going one way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it just so happened, and I don't believe in coincidences. I feel like the universe conspires in your favor when you're aligned with on a certain frequency. And I feel like I started to wake up, and then I turned 25. And I feel like, you know, they say your frontal lobe fully develops at 25 as a man. I feel like it just happened at the same time. And I literally just woke up one day.
You just knew?
It was like a pivotal moment.
Nice.
And I was actually with my cousin Fendi. He'll tell you, like, and then I got that shit tatted on my leg. Like, I found God on a night in September.
Yeah.
And it's just what God is to me. I'm not a religious person, but I believe in my God and, you know, my higher power.
Yeah.
The thing that I believe is like omnipotent. But it was I can't explain it. It was like just some otherworldly shit where it just clicked for me, and I was like, oh, I get it now. Yeah. And after that, though, it's not just like something clicks and your life just becomes all butterflies and, like, you know, flowers all over, and it's just like this beautiful thing. Like, no, it's like, okay, now I have to do a lot of work.
Yep. Yeah, because, like, it's like anything else, just like a muscle in your arm or something. You got to work on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Your brain is a muscle. You got to work on it. You won't never be good unless you worked on it.
100%.
Yeah, you talking that talk, man. Earlier this week on Wednesday, I went to the Danny Brown show, and I ran into Roger and them, the Juggernaut niggas, for real. And like last week, remember, if y'all listen, y'all know my allergies was fucked up. I really wanted to go to that Juggernaut show. Jimmy went. Jimmy was there.
Yeah.
But Logan performed. And the first thing when I asked Roger, I was like, how was the show, G? He was like, 8Matik came out with a band. I was like, dope, G. You're like, first off, I'm happy that they doing that shit again, because like those are pivotal years in my like lifetime. I remember going to those Juggernaut shows.
Hell yeah.
And I know you got a close relationship with them. How does it feel like when they come for they comeback, they go to be you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it was so that's the first time that I've ever performed with a live band. And that was the first time that I've ever played guitar live. So it was a new thing for me, and I was really nervous. But I think life has a funny way of working, right? I think it was very poetic in the sense of, like, the first time that I performed with a live band or played the guitar or do any performance in this new chapter is with a Juggernaut show at Reggie's.
That's crazy.
Like,
That's the most Chicago shit I've ever heard in my life.
Real on my soul.
I just thought that was so poetic because Reggie's was pivotal in the beginning part of my career when I was selling out Reggie's, headlining these rap shows. And Juggernaut has been there from the very beginning. So I just thought it was super poetic, and it was such a dope moment, like, for me, to have that as the first one and then to build and grow from there.
That's ill. That's like one of the most important streetwear brands from Chicago.
Hell yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
Like, I knew about Juggernaut.
Agreed.
I knew about Juggernaut when I was in Texas as a kid.
They just dropped that new shit. I'm trying
But
to
like
get
I
the
told-
Never hate on Juggernaut.
But like I told Roger and Manny, I was like, bro, it's family. Like, even when, you know, things get rough, you got to have people that are, like, still family. And I feel like with them, I don't care if I'm Kanye level famous. I'm going to still wear Juggernaut.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
Because when I first started rapping, bro, I didn't have no money and I didn't have no clothes, and they sauced me up, you know?
Yeah. What's your relationship with style? Like, you know, like the things you were into growing up and what you're into now?
I just think it goes back to that conversation of, like, taste and very limited palette. Like,
Yeah.
also growing up in the hood, bro, like, I never got bullied because you're not finna bully me. But, like, there's definitely peer pressure, and, like, in Chicago, growing up in the hood in Chicago is like, you're not finna wear that. They're finna fry you.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to fight people.
Fry you to death, too. Like,
And you're gonna have to fight.
yeah, you're going to have to
And
fight.
so I just had a very limited palette, bro, when it comes to art, music, fashion, all of that shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the confidence to actually gravitate or go toward what I thought was cool.
Heard.
And I think as I've gotten older, I've gotten more confidence and developed more of a taste to where I'm like, that's dope, and I want to do that.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like that's where I'm at now, especially with art, music, and when it comes to fashion as well. I think fashion, I'm just getting started. I'm just like trying to put different fits together and just trying to figure out what I actually think is cool.
Yeah, we saw you at the orchestra.
I was just
dog.
about to say, Perry and Nate said that they saw you at the, the coalition.
We were recapping that Chicago Fashion Coalition show that we went to. We ran into you up there, and now like we
They
were
said you
recapping
had
the
that
pod.
shit on,
I'm like,
boy.
Logan probably had on the most drippiest show. Like the nigga had a poncho on
with like a big ass gold safety pin.
All right, dog. So I gotta give you. I gotta admit something. I saw you with the big gold safety pin on, and someone left one at one of my jobs. I took that bitch, so I might bite you. I'm gonna bite you. Maybe not the poncho, but
Well, it was a blanket. It was a blanket.
It was a
And
blanket, that's right, yeah,
I just
yeah.
wrapped it around. Really, it was inspired by ASAP. I think he did like he wore a blanket to the
Babushka.
Met Gala or some shit. And my boy Ty, who owns October, was in the fashion show. And all his pieces were on the runway, and I wanted to wear something of his to support. So I was at his crib, and I was just like, I'm gonna just use the blanket, bro. Like, I'm gonna just wear the blanket.
that shit was very hard for sure.
It was. I
Sick.
saw the
You
pictures.
snapped.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Yeah.
You just popped up behind us. We were like, "What's up, dog?"
Yeah. You know, but I really want to get into fashion heavy, man. I just like my favorite designers. Notoriously, the greatest I think is Martin Margiela.
Ooh, let's go.
That's my favorite. And then, like, even my lock screen is my second favorite, Alexander McQueen. So, like, those are, like, my two favorite designers. Obviously, I rock with Vivienne Westwood, too.
Straight up.
And I didn't know until I started doing research about her, you know, relationship with the punk scene. Like,
Dude,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like, her relationship with the punk scene is so legendary. And it's like one thing that gets skewed with like punk and fashion. I don't know. I feel like there's like this like kind of like gross, disingenuous, like, you know, thing with like fashion and punk, but she's like real fucking deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, actual punk. You know
Like,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
Yeah.
Like, that's her, when they had the shop, Sex, and
Yeah.
created the
Yeah.
Sex Pistols. When I started learning that and I started putting these pieces of the puzzle together, I'm like, oh, she is.
Yes.
Like,
She's
she's
involved. Like,
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Dog, like, yeah, because like with fashion and punk, you know, there's so many brands and so many like labels that do this like, yeah, like, you know, like corny punk thing.
Yeah,
And, like,
yeah.
I mean, my eternal hat is off too.
Well, I don't
Vivienne
think-
Westwood, dog. Like,
I don't think, like, see, I had a very skewed or maybe even just mistaken perception of what punk was growing up.
Yeah.
I think I've always been punk, but I didn't know it because until I understood that it's more of an ethos and an energy than it
Yeah.
is a style or a look or a sound. Like,
Yeah.
Patti Smith is punk, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
her songs don't sound like the
Yeah.
Ramones or
yeah.
like.
It doesn't have to
super
sound
punk.
like that. You
Yeah,
know what
bro.
I mean?
It's like
Blondie is punk.
Yeah, exactly.
it's the
Fuck
spirit of being
Yeah.
of DIY, of saying fuck you to the systems that are in place and being like, I'm gonna do it my way.
Yeah,
And
You know what I'm saying? Like Public Enemy. You notice they always fuck with each other too.
I know.
Like I always say, like if you watch any 80s
Yeah,
like
for
alt
sure.
movie, like you watch like any 80s like alt movie, you can watch like even like motherfucking like Ninja Turtles and shit.
Yeah.
If you see a punk kid, they ever in a punk environment, it's some hip hop niggas there. Whenever they
Yeah,
go to hip hop
Public Enemy
shit,
and Anthrax.
like whenever you
Bring
see
the noise. What are we talking about?
whenever you see like somebody in an 80s movie breakdance, and there's always a punk dude standing right there too.
Yeah.
bro, punk and rap are like siblings, gang.
Yeah. Yes.
And even like I made this comparison talking to one of my homies, like, cause Nirvana is grunge, but grunge is just a form, I feel like.
It's
of
essentially
punk.
punk. They're all punk kids. They're all
So-
hardcore kids.
Yeah, you know, so like the way that I see it is like there is not that big of a difference between Kurt Cobain and Chief Keef.
No.
Like Kurt was not a traditional trained musician. he was very sloppy. He was very just like, fuck you, I'm gonna do what I want to do. And at the time, I feel like people weren't as, like, the same way the old heads looked at Keith was the way a lot of people looked at Kurt on some, you're not technical, you're doing it wrong.
Right.
You're not, like, you know what I'm saying?
Doing it wrong.
Where he's just like, it's raw expression. And Keith came out the same way. They're like, what the fuck is this? This ain't rap. This ain't this, that. And it's like, bro, but that's why I feel like those two people I really resonate with, because they just did it their way, and they were like, fuck being traditional, fuck being technical.
And that's what punk is for real. It's a counterculture. You know what I'm saying? It's a anti what the movement is. You know what I'm saying? It's a counter way of living for real. And like I
think it's a pure way of living.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And they come out the same place. Like they come from urban cities, American urban cities is where both of the births are. Like all the other music genres are birthed in different places. For real, they was birthed in the same place for real. So that's why they tied together.
And the true definition of urban for real. You know what I'm saying?
Gee, I made last night. I locked Evan into like I was smoking bud and I locked Evan into a Chief Keef session. I was like, no, you gotta really know where Chief Keef comes from. Like I said, they all not from Chicago. Like I'm from Chicago. I'm playing Bang One. I'm like, listen, bro, John Bang.
You had Evan locked up.
Take him back. Wait, I know about Bang One. Okay, listen. Come on now.
No, but like this is an important conversation.
It is.
Because people don't know. And they only know the 27-year-old version of Chief Keef.
I know that's
By the way, Dirty Nachos is hard.
It's hard. But they only know when their frame of reference for drill is Pop Smoke.
Yeah,
and like,
that's so nuts, bro.
And the new Lil Durk, which they don't even consider drill, which blows my mind.
Yeah.
But like, you need to go listen to 2011 Keef, 2012 Keef, Reese, Fredo, even the opposite motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Duck, Lil J, Billionaire Black, Pete Rico. Like, bro, that's what's crazy.
What
that was a crazy
The Chicago, nigga.
They, like Bailey, do you realize that niggas was wearing Gucci belts on their head?
Okay, but
that's
also,
so crazy.
But let's like analyze the impact, because
Just trying to let you
I'm
know.
thinking about it now. I would have never had the confidence to rap if I didn't know that 20 blocks away, Chief Keef was rapping. Like that gave me the confidence to do it.
Yeah.
And
like, oh my shit ain't mixed. Chief shit ain't mixed. This sound terrible of the speakers, but like it's about
Keef was just Keef, bro. And I was like, yo, if he could do this shit, I could do this shit. And there's a million other people that thought like that, even if they don't admit it.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
Yo, do you remember where you were when you first heard "Don't Like"?
Yeah, I was in my Ford Explorer.
Sick. I had one. Big body.
Same thing with Love Sosa.
That's what I knew he was out of here, bro. When he dropped Kobe, I was like, he out of here.
Don't Like was crazy. The first song I heard from Keith was Bang, though, when it first came out. And I was like, yo, this is...
Mine was "Don't Like."
I was like, yo, this is crazy. And then I went and listened to 300.
Yeah.
And I remember I was in Wells. I was like a junior, I think. I was a junior at Wells, and I was not going to class. My GPA was like a 0 point something. But I was just walking through the hallways with my headphones in, and I was just listening to Keef all day, bro. Yeah. High as hell, just listening to Keef, bro. And that shit, like, that's some real Chicago shit that I feel bad for the kids now that they don't get to experience.
I know. That was such a moment. Remember Lil Reese, Us, bro?
Bro, Traffic.
Yeah.
Come on.
Bro. Like,
ridiculous songs.
I'll talk about, like, I remember Every Day is Halloween came out.
Yeah,
Every Day is Halloween. I still play we do a Beloved mix. We do like a monthly like mix on this internet radio station. Shout out Beloved.
Or
man.
It's Cracking.
Bruh.
It's Cracking, it's crazy.
He said like applause, nigga. Bro, my soul.
John Madden, all of that shit, bro. John Madden is like one of the top 5 Keith songs.
Or Sets
We was
Up.
at a party for Halloween, and me and my cousin were making all these like 22, 23-year-old white kids listen to all the old drill music on the like speakers.
Good.
It was for us more than it was for them. Yeah. But what was the song that the kid... He didn't know some song, bro, and we were like, "Are you crazy?" Then we started playing LA. Then we started playing Rondo. Then we started playing Pappy.
Gee.
we're like, fuck y'all, bro. Like this is the thing that I don't.
That's what I did. That's literally what I did to Evan last night.
But like, here's the thing, bro. Is like the kids now, and I say kids, but even like younger, like early 20s, y'all have the internet. There's no reason why y'all should be ignorant.
Yeah.
Like, just do the Googles, bro. Do the homework. Like, it's all there. Like, y'all, and I don't want to shit on no new artists, bro. But the music is so diluted and so saturated when the real shit is there.
Yeah, there's really so much of, like, I'm not trying to hate, but there's really so much of the same exact shit, dog. Like, I try to you know, listen to shit and like not have a biased opinion, but a lot of shit really.
It's just like what will it take to get the kids to look it up though? You know what I'm saying?
They won't because
they just have to grow up.
Yeah,
what is the breakthrough?
Exactly,
they guide you to what they want you to listen to. When you open up your Spotify, they gonna guide you to where they want you to be at. You know?
But for you to
But I
take it
feel
upon
bad
yourself
though.
too.
I feel bad, bro, because like we had Keith and I don't even want to say his name because I don't want to shit on him. Like we had Keith and we had like the goats, and they have like they have Yeet.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's not a knock on Yeet, but like.
But that was because we were searching for our music. Like streaming wasn't a thing. We
had to. We had no choice.
But like it wasn't out like it is. They wasn't making playlists.
I seen
it easy.
a tweet where a younger motherfucker was like shitting on old heads. Like, if you're 28 and you listen to Uzi, you need to get a life. And I said, hold on.
Nigga, I have been listening to Uzi.
Hold on.
Yeah,
look.
nah, say that to me. You gotta see me if you say that.
This is what I said. I said, y'all tweaking because Uzi's ours.
Yeah.
Okay, I know that's
Perry
fucking
says this all
right.
the time. Perry says this all the time.
I'm like, fuck is y'all talking about? Dirk, Uzi, Keith, that's ours.
Yeah, like I'm still a hitter. What are you talking about?
Yes, sir.
Y'all better get in tune.
Nah,
like,
for real.
What?
G, by the end of me and Evan,
They just so ignorant.
by the end of me and Evan said I was so deep in my Chicago shit. I was like, have you ever heard of Sicko Mob?
Yeah, you
Not even take him all the way, bro.
I'm convinced. You had Evan locked up.
Wait, you know what? I have a song with Sicko Mob.
Do you?
What? That's crazy.
It's
Oh
out.
my god.
I forget what it's called. It's hard though. I did that shit and I was so happy because I love Sicko Mob, bro.
Because Chicago, we were so creative for real. You know what I'm saying? Like,
If
you
we
would
ever
never expect. That's almost on like some hyper pop shit. Like, if you did, like, you see where we're at right now. Like,
But that's why, like, I always tell people when I get rich and famous, I'm gonna just throw alley oops to all the motherfuckers because, like, they should all be rich.
Straight up.
All of them should be rich. Everybody, even the P. Ricos, the Sicko Mobs, like, hang with me, bro.
yeah, bro, the anthem, bro. Like I said, belts on heads.
The belt on the head is crazy. It's so insane.
All of them should be
So
rich, bro.
wild.
All of
On
them
my
should
soul,
be
just for how they made me feel. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Real impact on motherfucker for real. And that's what, like we were saying earlier, that's what good music is. Like, how can you connect with a motherfucker for real?
True.
You know what I'm saying?
But I think that early Chicago shit was not intentional. It was just like raw expression, and it was like that again,
But
very
people
punk.
felt it.
I feel like it was very punk because it's like they doing this makeshift. They're making these makeshift songs on very limited equipment with no budgets. It's just like very fuck you. We just gonna do what we want to do, and that is why it connected.
Is there a Chicago sound when it comes to like, let's say like with rap? With rap, is there like, you know, like you get what I'm saying? Like, you know how New York has a sound, LA has a sound. Is there an actual?
I don't think there is because I don't think Chicago's a generic city.
True.
I think Chicago is a real place.
Well said.
Where, like, even when I look at the new New York artists, they still trying to talk and sound like the artists or the New York people, like you saying that New York sound and style. Whereas Chicago, we may have lingo and like slang that we use, but even that develops and evolves over the years.
True.
But there is no Chicago sound because we're not a generic place, bro. Kanye's from here.
Yeah.
I agree with that because it's so much.
Well said.
It's so much shit in music that we only do in Chicago. Like, Chicago is the only place to make juke music. You know what I'm saying? When you hear like
there's styles that are like when you like juke footwork. But they hijack house. They hijack everything. So like
it's rappers that come out now to be rapping like Save Money back in the day, and I'll be like,
that's
Save
true.
Money.
That's valid. That's so valid. Yeah.
Like, we
even
definitely-
the drill shit, bro. Like,
the drill is
to not call Lil Durk drill is
crazy.
like
That's
crazy.
nuts.
Because your idea of drill is UK drill, New York drill, which is a rendition of
What Dirk did.
what inspired that.
I remember when Joe Budden
Pure
said
violence
that
on
on his
tracks.
podcast. They're like, I immediately hit Baylor. It's like, Baylor, he tweaking. She was like, what are you talking about? That he fucking tweaking, bro.
But that's just ignorance, bro. That's like
Cause then and then like you got like the soulful Chicago shit, you know, with like our R&B singer, you got like you hear Selena Johnson and shit, you be like, oh, that's some Chicago shit.
well, see,
It
this
sound
is like
And then we got R. Kelly too.
Cut the mics.
well, you know, all the like real,
sorry, I'm sorry.
all the real goats. All the real goats are from the Midwest. Like, they're from this little area. It's like you got Kanye, Eminem, Prince, Michael Jackson. Like, we're all, it comes from this one little place. Like, if you really think about it, like, the main people. But, like, even what I'm trying to do right now, it's like this alternative, like, chapter in my life. I'm trying to take it, elevate it, and kind of create it from a Chicago point of view, because I don't feel like we've ever had it. Maybe I'm ignorant. Has there been a fucking person from Chicago that has done that and like really took off with it?
not how you finna do it.
You know what I'm saying? So like, and that'll create a new wave, because I feel like I'm already cemented in the rap shit and what I did from 2013 to 2000 whatever, 19, 18, and now I feel like it's a new chapter for me, and it's really exhilarating to be like, all right, this is the challenge now, is to like be Channel, be Keith, be Kanye, but for this.
Yeah, man. Have fun and be free. You rap circles. You know, you did the rap shit.
Yeah.
You can go back to that rap shit.
Do y'all ever wonder
Yeah.
if there's like, because I know me and Perry talk about this all the time. I always say that Perry taught me what hating was in real life in so many different forms, and you'll never know what it is. I know that Chicago, with people making music and stuff, like there's hate within Chicago. Like, how do you like overcome that kind of shit? Because you both make music, and it's like you guys are talking about all of these people, and it's like, yeah, how are they not in these places? But like, I also know that you guys probably know about the certain kind of hate that we have for like each other in Chicago or something.
Yeah.
Like, you'll never support the like, and I don't know if they do that in New York. I don't know how it's set up there, but like sometimes I feel like Chicago has a special kind of like hatred for itself, kind of like
City of
other
hella
people
haters.
will like love you, but like Chicago people will be like, eh.
Well, Chicago is the city that we're the backdoor city. Like, we kill our friends, we fucking kill family members. It's a treacherous place, and it's a hateful place. It's a vortex of negative energy. There's just a lot of, it's like this polarity of like all the bad, but then all the good. So it's like,
Are y'all just ready for the hate? Are you ready for the hate?
I think
so it's just like
I think we've been
used to it.
I think we've been
desensitized to it.
I think we've been molded in it. So
Yeah.
it's like we expect it to a degree, but it's a thing of like, that's what makes us. That's what makes Kanye. That's what makes these great artists that come from Chicago. That's what makes Virgil. That's what makes like, because that's why Barack Obama is the president. You know what I'm saying? Or was the president. It's like you build up these mental calluses and this armor that makes you, in a sense, bulletproof. So I think it's bad for sure, but it's not always. Sometimes it creates some like diamonds, you know.
Yeah, it won't be the end all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
apply
okay.
some pressure.
You
Yeah,
gotta expect it though, because like Chicago is the dick riding capital, but it's also it's also the most hateful place. Like, it'll be your own homies you gonna see every day.
Yes.
and they not
That's what
gonna
I was
support
talking
you.
about. Yeah, exactly.
But then Kanye jumps on your song, and now you got 52
That's
new
love.
cousins. You got a bunch of people that went to school with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
You know.
for real. Like, you're bubbling for real, and it's like you're about to crack. Are you nervous about like when it happens? Are you nervous about how you're gonna have to? Like,
I don't
like-
want to be famous, bro.
I know you're gonna be though. So are you like nervous about it?
It's
Or are
a-
you past that? Like you've
Or,
already had.
like,
It's
are you?
like-
Do you? Are
I'm
you? Are you
excited.
mentally ready? Like,
I'm excited to do all the things like tour and to connect with people. on a real, in a real exchange of energy. I'm not excited about all the fake shit and the assassination of character, and because I don't want to play these fucking stupid games, what they're gonna try to do to me. I'm not like excited about that.
But now you're well equipped, right? Like, you've done this ride before.
And, like, if motherfuckers want to go to war, we could go to war. Like, I'm from the rack, bro. Like, I'm not, this ain't like, a lot of the people that I meet in these spaces are, like, goofies and, like, dorks. And, like, not even to be like that, bro, but it's like, I'm from a different type of place, bro. So, like, we can do this, but like if you get on that type of time with me, you're not getting on that type of time with somebody who's not used to it. Yeah. So like, but I don't give a fuck about fame. I really don't care about money. All I care about is impact. And I know that like the money's a byproduct of if you take care of business and you make an impact on the world. And I am excited about like being able to take care of my family and do things for the people that I love and live a free life in a capitalistic society. But like, I don't care about none of that shit, bro. Like, that's not what's moving me. That's not why I do it.
I feel you.
That's right.
Ooh. I feel you. On my soul. That's what the motherfuckers got to really, like, think about what they doing it for real. And like last week, Swan was saying, like, it don't matter what, if you doing it for bitches, do it for the bitches. If you doing it for money, then do it for the money.
Just know what you doing it for.
What I'm doing it for is for the impact. Bro. I feel you, G. Like, I was telling niggas the other day, I don't give a fuck about no numbers. I just dropped some shit the other day. I used to look at the numbers. I don't look at that shit no more. I don't care.
Well, that shit is fake to begin with, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Not ours.
Yeah.
No. But I'm talking about like the overall, like it's motherfuckers
looking good over here, baby.
They told you that's what you supposed to give a fuck about. Like, what I care about is when I walk outside, is somebody gonna say something to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I care about.
See, what really does it for me is like, you can have 1 billion monthly Spotify listeners, and you could be on all these playlists that are being curated with people in your corner or like being paid for it, whatever. It's all a facade and it's not real. My thing is like, when people are messaging me like, yo, I'm going through Xan withdrawal and I don't know how to deal with it, and we have those conversations, that's why I do it. And something that really hurt me recently, bro, was finding out one of my fans died from an overdose. Somebody that I delivered my merch to her house.
Damn.
And like that shit really hurt me because it's like you want to save everybody. But you're trying to develop and grow as a human being at the same time, and you have to come to terms with the fact that you can't.
Yeah, because you're learning to.
I guess that's
but that's why you go this hard.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not about a dollar amount. It's not about a follower count or a stream. It's about really making an imprint or leaving an imprint on someone's life.
And I guess that's why I was kind of asking you, like, since this is about to be like, a moment, in music, are you scared of like, that's one fan, but there's gonna be a time where it's like hundreds of them. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna hear all these little stories. Like, do you think you're like mentally and emotionally ready for that? I know it's like.
I don't know. I don't think you're ever really ready for anything. I think you just have to make a decision and commit to it, and deal with what happens. Yeah. I do think about like the pressure that comes with all of that shit. But I'm really trying.
I guess that's the word I was looking for. My bad.
Yeah, I'm trying not to live in fear, man. I'm trying to embrace it and kind of learn as I go. But it is a little nerve wracking, It is. Like, it's like, damn. Especially when you get to that point. Like, there's a reason why Kurt killed himself, bro. Yeah. Like, there's a reason why so many people. You think like we want to just brush it off because we have this moral compass where we feel like we're all just better than other people. We want to think that people do drugs because they just want to get high, or like all of these artists that overdose are just selfish pricks and they want to get high because they have the means. But like they're fighting with something. And it's deeper than that. And there's a reason why they're doing that. And maybe if you weren't so shallow and surface level, you could see beyond that.
That everyone's going through some shit regardless.
And it's a fucking struggle. And somebody who's been through a lot over the past 10 years, I'm trying to manage that to where I don't self-destruct in front of the world. Especially as I feel this shit starting to get bigger.
Yeah. Good for you, just like you were saying before, everything happened for a reason. You wouldn't had a challenge in front of your face if you wasn't capable to handle that shit.
sure.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because like, yeah, it's really levels to this shit. And like, if that was presented to you, that mean that you can handle it. That if you weren't able to handle it, it wouldn't even be in your face.
Yes, shit happens to you or for you, not to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The things that happen to you make you a better person. You won't realize it in that moment, but like it happens like for you. It's for your, like you need to go through those experiences. Like they call them growing pains for a reason.
Straight
like,
up.
It's not going to be comfortable. Like things are going to come at you crazy.
And I feel like a lot of, if not all of it, a lot of it is for a purpose. Like things don't have to define you, but they can shape you. You know?
Yeah,
and
period.
they can help you become the version that you're destined to be.
Yeah.
It's just tricky, man. It's a nuanced thing. This thing, you know, that we go through every day called life, and it's like nobody got this shit figured out. So it's like that's why I don't really trip off people. Like I know I'm very opinionated, and I'm like super into what I believe. But when somebody believes something that I don't believe, I'm not like ever trying to crucify them for it. I'm just like, I think it's actually dope, and it makes me want to talk to them more. You know?
Yeah, we can't all be the same.
Yeah,
like,
and
what?
I definitely feel you on that. It's hard to like gain that quality for real. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, because nobody in today's society is like trying to hear the other person.
Yes,
It's like, go ahead, talk, because the moment you're done talking, I'm
they're literally waiting for their
turn
talking,
to talk. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm like, bro, like that's why I don't really rock with people like that. Like
straight up.
I just be, you know, because they don't really care for real about like what you, like your life or
Like what you
are.
like contribute to this universe. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you're a real human being, like existing and expressing yourself.
And that's
like,
another thing.
And
like
sometimes it's like frustrating. I'm sorry.
No,
Sometimes it's frustrating. It's like, why does no one give a fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's something I've been very conscious about moving into this year was like, I need to be more compassionate. I need to be more empathetic and just try to hear people and understand people.
Yeah.
But like what you're talking about with the nervous thing, it's like people passed out when Michael Jackson was on stage.
Straight up.
Because they thought he wasn't a human being, but he died like a human being.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Prince died like a human being. David Bowie died like a human being.
Yeah.
And though they'll live forever in theory, in the physical realm, they passed away because they are human beings. We're taking Kanye for granted right now in the present moment because he could die at any moment. And people want to do all this, say all these things, but he is a human being and he battles with things just like everybody else. So I just feel like as a whole, the world, we get caught up in politics and like ideology and all of these different things that, yeah, they're important for shaping a society, but we neglect the fact that we're all just human beings, bro. Like going through things and dealing with things on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis. And that's another thing I'm trying to like make very like apparent is like, yo, I'll raise my hand and say I'm human. Like everybody else should be, you know, it should be a space where everybody can just be human.
Yeah,
For
absolutely,
real.
dude.
For real.
You're so well spoken. So Perry told me before you got here, you wrote a book.
Yeah, I did. I wrote a book. It's not out yet though.
Oh, it's not out yet. Can we talk about it or no?
Yeah, it's called Xanax Betrayal. It's like it's a memoir about my journey and experience with Xanax and benzodiazepines and like why I'm so fuck big pharma.
For sure.
I've been waiting to put it out because I just want it to be done right, and I feel like it's a very important thing and something that I feel like that can really make an impact on the world that isn't my music, and I feel like when it's ready and when the time is right, it'll just happen naturally. I would like for it to come out when I have more of an influence because it's bold and it's very candid and expressive and it means a lot to me, and it's not just some like vanity like project, you know.
Sick.
Like a lot of people just do things to say, "Oh, I did this." Like I could publish it myself and say, "Yeah, I published a book," but like
I'm cracking. Let me write a book.
Just know it's really humbling to see someone move with so much intention, bro. For real. Like while you're talking about with all this growth and all the stages you went through, the way I'm hearing all of everything you're doing with so much intention, like I know it's like helping you, but it's almost like a selfless thing too. Like you care about like your footprint on this earth, and like that's a really like that's like a beautiful thing. And I feel like sometimes people like they mull over that, and yeah, just know like I'm feeling that this right now. Like I feel like I don't have anything to say because like you're saying so much shit, and I'm just like, damn, Like
No,
for
thank you.
real.
Thank you
Yeah,
for real.
absolutely, dude. For
That
real.
means a lot, and I'm smiling because that's like why
Yeah,
you
that's
live
a beautiful
in this
thing.
manner, you know.
Yeah. What do you do it
yeah.
for? Like Perry always says.
Yeah,
You know?
man, for real.
No, I appreciate that for real.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So I know you're working on a new project. Before we get out of here, like, you got anything to say about the new shit you've been working on?
It's just raw, pure, authentic. I'm trying to get more experimental, but I just feel like it's just a natural progression. So like, and to some people this is super experimental. Like the line in Drake's song about Honestly Nevermind, where he was like, people so ignorant, they're asking why I'm making techno.
Techno.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like, even though I'm like super alternative and I know it can get more alternative to a person that doesn't understand it, they're gonna think I'm doing some completely outlandish shit. So I'm just taking it day by day, man, and just trying to be the dopest version of me that I could be.
Hell the fuck yeah.
You know, and doesn't matter who or where it's coming from, what direction. I just like good ideas, cool shit. Like I just like cool shit, bro. So like I'm just trying to contribute to the world and do dope shit.
Hell yeah. Well, shit, go ahead. Make sure y'all go check out my man 8MatikLogan on all the DSPs, Apple Music, Spotify. Follow him on Instagram, Twitter. 8MatikLogan is just 8MatikLogan, right?
Yeah.
Did you remember any bars from that first song?
That's
That was a long time ago.
Listen.
I don't know about the very first song, but I do got some like super. I know some bars from like one of my early freestyles from like 2010.
You won't.
It's like, man, I can't fold for these hoes. Bar so cold, got them running like they knows. Chief Keef get me in my zone.
Hell yeah.
It's like I think it was like, I can't fold. Chief Keef get me in my zone, but I still fuck with bone. So it's just like some super corny shit at like a 16-year-old kid would rap. Bro.
It sound fire at 16. Yeah, let's go.
Well, thank you, 8Matik, bro.
Yes,
for
thank
coming
you so
through.
much.
Yeah, appreciate
Yes.
it, bro. Thank y'all for real.
Good God.
Episode 241.